Listen up because we need to talk about what's happening with Selena Gomez right now, and I'm not holding back on this one. There's a video circulating online that's racked up massive views claiming Selena is pregnant, and honestly, I'm about 2 seconds away from losing it completely over this situation. If you're here for honest tea without the filter, then you're in the right place. And hey, if you vibe with keeping it real and want more of this energy, smash that subscribe button, because we're just getting started. Let me set the scene for you. The Golden Globes red carpet happened, and Selena Gomez showed up looking absolutely incredible. I'm talking Hollywood royalty vibes. Everything about her look was perfection from head to toe. Her makeup was flawless, her hair was stunning, her dress was elegant and gorgeous. Even her partner Benny Blanco looked great beside her. She embodied everything a red carpet moment should be. But somehow, and I genuinely cannot wrap my head around this, she ended up on worst dress lists. Can someone please explain to me how that makes any sense whatsoever? Because from where I'm sitting, that makes absolutely zero logical sense, and honestly it feels like people are just looking for reasons to criticize her at this point. Now here's where things get really problematic and why I'm making this video in the first place. There's this video going viral with tons and tons of views, and it's claiming that Selena Gomez is pregnant. People are analyzing photos from the Golden Globes where she's holding her stomach area and jumping to conclusions without thinking about the consequences of spreading this kind of speculation. Here's what everyone seems to be conveniently forgetting, or maybe they just don't know. Back in 2024, Selena opened up about something incredibly personal and vulnerable. She publicly shared that she cannot carry her own children due to medical issues that would put both her life and a baby's life in serious jeopardy. Let me repeat that for the people in the back who apparently missed this incredibly important statement. Selena Gomez has said clearly and publicly that she cannot carry her own children. This wasn't something she casually mentioned in passing. This was a deeply personal revelation that she shared with the world. Her exact words were that, unfortunately, she can't carry her own children and that she has a lot of medical issues that would put her life and the baby's in jeopardy. She also mentioned that this was something she had to grieve for a while, which should tell you everything you need to know about how painful and difficult this reality has been for her. Can we just take a moment to recognize how incredibly brave that was? Seriously, think about what it takes to share something that personal with millions of people. Selena didn't have to tell anyone about her struggles with this. She could have kept it private, dealt with it behind closed doors, and nobody would have been the wiser. But she chose to be transparent and honest about her situation. And you want to know why that matters so much? Because by speaking her truth, she's not just freeing herself from the pressure and expectations that society places on women regarding motherhood. She's also helping countless other women who are going through similar struggles feel less alone. There are millions of women out there who cannot carry children for various medical reasons. Some of them might feel ashamed or broken because of it. Some might feel like they're failing at something society tells them they should be able to do naturally. Some might be dealing with grief and loss that nobody around them understands. And then here comes Selena Gomez, one of the biggest stars in the world, saying, "Hey, I'm going through this too, and it's okay to talk about it." That kind of openness and vulnerability creates space for other women to share their own stories and seek support without shame. So when videos like this one start circulating claiming she's pregnant, it's not just harmless gossip or innocent speculation. It's actually really damaging on multiple levels. First of all, it completely disregards what Selena herself has shared about her own body and her own medical situation. She told us she cannot carry children.
She was clear about this.
So, why are people still pushing this pregnancy narrative? It's disrespectful to her and dismissive of her lived experience.
But it goes deeper than that.
Think about all the women who saw Selena's original statement and felt seen and validated by it. Think about the women who found comfort in knowing that someone they admire is going through the same thing they are. Now imagine those same women seeing these pregnancy rumors and all the comments from people celebrating and saying things like, "Oh my God, she did it. She finally got pregnant. She found a way. This gives me hope." Do you see how that creates false hope? Do you see how that can actually be harmful to people who are dealing with the reality that they cannot carry children? I went through the comment section on that viral video, and my heart honestly broke reading some of the responses. People were genuinely excited thinking Selena had somehow overcome her medical issues. They were saying it inspired them and gave them hope that maybe they could do the same thing. But it's based on nothing. It's based on a photo where she's holding her stomach area, which literally means nothing. People hold their stomachs for a million different reasons. Maybe she was adjusting her dress. Maybe she had eaten a big meal. Maybe she was bloated. Maybe she just naturally put her hand there without thinking about it. Why does it have to mean pregnancy? This brings me to a bigger issue that I think we really need to address as a society. Why are we so obsessed with commenting on women's bodies? Why do we feel entitled to speculate about whether someone is pregnant based on how their stomach looks in a photo? Why can't we just let women exist in their bodies without constant scrutiny and analysis? Every single time a woman gains a couple pounds, or looks bloated, or is photographed at an angle that makes her stomach look different, here come the pregnancy rumors. It's exhausting, and it needs to stop. Bodies change constantly. This is true for everyone regardless of gender, but women seem to bear the brunt of this particular type of scrutiny. A woman's body can look different from day to day based on so many factors. Hormones, water retention, digestion, what they ate that day, what time of month it is, stress levels, sleep quality, the list goes on and on. I wake up some mornings feeling one way, and by the afternoon after drinking some water and eating a meal, I look completely different. That's just how bodies work. They're not static objects that stay exactly the same all the time. And by the way, this isn't just happening to Selena. This is a pattern that plays out over and over again with female celebrities. I've seen this happen to Hailey Bieber. I've seen it happen to Kylie Jenner. I've seen it happen to so many young women in the public eye. But this has been going on forever, not just with today's celebrities. Remember all those tabloid magazines with their baby bump alerts and their speculation about who might be expecting? It's been a problem for decades, and we still haven't learned our lesson apparently. What makes this situation with Selena particularly frustrating and upsetting is that she specifically opened up about not being able to carry children. She gave us that information directly from her own mouth. So continuing to spread pregnancy rumors about her isn't just invasive and inappropriate, it's also willfully ignoring what she's told us about her own medical reality. It's like people heard her say, "I cannot get pregnant," and decided, well, we're going to speculate that you're pregnant anyway. How does that make any sense? Let me be absolutely clear about something. No one should be commenting on any woman's body, period. I don't care if she's a celebrity or your next-door neighbor or a random person you see on the street. Other people's bodies are not up for public discussion and analysis. If a woman wants to hold her belly, let her hold her belly. If she wants to wear a dress that's fitted or flowy or whatever style she prefers, that's her choice. If she gains weight or loses weight or stays the same weight, that's nobody's business but hers and maybe her doctor's. We need to stop acting like women's bodies are public property that we all get to have opinions about. The thing that really gets me about situations like this is that they're presented as harmless fun or lighthearted gossip, but they're not. There are real consequences to this kind of speculation. For Selena specifically, imagine having to deal with pregnancy rumors when you've been open about the fact that you cannot carry children. Imagine the emotional toll that takes. She probably already struggles with this reality on a regular basis. She might be in therapy working through her feelings about it. She might have good days and bad days in terms of accepting this aspect of her life. And then, here come thousands of people on the internet saying she's pregnant based on absolutely nothing. But beyond just Selena, think about all the other women who are affected by this narrative. Think about the women who cannot carry children who see these rumors and feel triggered or upset. Think about the women who are struggling with fertility issues who see people celebrating a fake pregnancy and feel their own grief resurface. Think about the women who looked up to Selena for her bravery in sharing her story who now feel confused or misled by these rumors. The ripple effect of this kind of content is much larger than people realize. I also want to address the people creating and sharing this content. I get that celebrity gossip is a thing and people are interested in the lives of famous people. I understand that pregnancy announcements and baby news tend to generate a lot of engagement and interest. But there has to be a line somewhere. There has to be a point where we say, actually, this crosses into territory that's harmful, and we shouldn't be doing this. When someone has explicitly stated they cannot get pregnant due to medical issues, Maybe that's the line. Maybe that's where we pump the brakes on the speculation and rumor spreading. If you see videos or posts claiming Selena is pregnant, please don't engage with them positively. Don't leave comments celebrating or expressing excitement. Don't share them with your friends. And honestly, consider reporting them if the platform has that option, because this kind of content is genuinely harmful. I know that might sound extreme to some people, but I really believe we need to take a stand against this type of invasive, disrespectful, and potentially damaging speculation about women's bodies and reproductive situations. Now let me switch gears for a second, because I promised I would share something else with you all, and I'm a person of my word. I've been working on modifying my breakfast routine lately because I'm trying to make some healthier choices, and I wanted to tell you about this sandwich I've been making that I'm honestly obsessed with. The bread I was using before was just too high in carbohydrates for what I'm trying to do. Each slice had something like 30 carbs, which meant one sandwich was putting me at 60 carbs right off the bat in the morning. So I switched to keto bread, where both slices together are only 8 carbs total, which is a huge difference. Here's how I make it, and I know some of you are going to come for me on this, but I don't toast my bread. I know that's controversial, but hear me out. When my husband and I were in Japan, we had all these amazing sandwiches, and none of them used toasted bread. Everything was soft and fresh, and you could really taste all the flavors of the ingredients. I fell in love with that style, and I've been doing it that way ever since. So I take my untoasted keto bread, and I spread a little bit of mayo on it. You can use Japanese mayo or regular mayo, whatever you prefer, but the mayo is important for moisture and flavor. Some people like cream cheese instead, which also works, but I'm team mayo all the way. Then I get out my pan, and I cook 2 eggs. While they're cooking, I sprinkle some shredded mozzarella cheese on top, so it melts into the eggs. I know this sounds super basic so far, but stick with me, because this is where it gets interesting. I also make cauliflower hash browns in my air fryer, and add those to the sandwich. Now I love regular hash browns, don't get me wrong, but the cauliflower ones have more fiber, and I think more protein too, so they're just a slightly better option nutritionally. The texture is really good, and they add a nice crispy element to the sandwich. Sometimes I'll also throw some little sausages in the air fryer and add those in, or I'll cook them with my eggs, or if I want extra protein, I'll use some ham instead. The whole thing comes together into this really satisfying breakfast sandwich that keeps me full and tastes delicious. I don't eat it every single day, but most days I do, and on the days I don't, I'll usually have overnight oats or something else. But this has become my go-to breakfast, and I'm really happy with how it's working for me in terms of my health goals. Okay, so obviously this isn't a food channel, and that's not what you're here for, but I wanted to share that with you because I think it's important to show all aspects of life, not just the gossip and drama. We're all out here trying to make good choices and take care of ourselves, and sometimes that means getting creative with recipes and finding what works for us individually. I'm not on some restrictive diet, and I'm not trying to promote any particular way of eating. I'm just making small modifications that feel sustainable for me, and that's what I encourage everyone to do. Find what works for you. But let's bring it back to the main topic here, because I really want to drive this point home. The speculation about Selena being pregnant needs to stop. It's disrespectful to her, it's harmful to other women dealing with similar issues, and it perpetuates this toxic culture of obsessing over women's bodies and making assumptions based on nothing. Selena was incredibly generous to share her story about not being able to carry children. That took courage and vulnerability, and it helped so many people feel less alone in their struggles. The least we can do is respect what she told us and stop spreading rumors that directly contradict her own statements about her body and her health. I know some people might think I'm being too serious about this, or that it's just celebrity gossip and doesn't matter that much. But I disagree completely. This stuff matters because it affects real people with real feelings. Selena is a human being who has to see these rumors about herself. The women who related to her story are real people who have to navigate their own complicated feelings about fertility and motherhood. The culture we create around discussing women's bodies has real-world impacts on how women are treated and how they feel about themselves. Being a woman is already challenging enough without all this extra scrutiny and pressure. Women deal with so much on a daily basis, and they do it with incredible strength and grace. I grew up surrounded by strong women, and I saw firsthand how much they go through and how resilient they are. I have nothing but respect and admiration for women and what they handle on a regular basis. The world literally would not function without women, and I mean that completely sincerely. So when I see situations like this where women are being disrespected and their words are being ignored and their bodies are being analyzed and speculated about, it makes me genuinely angry. We need to do better as a society when it comes to how we talk about women, especially regarding their bodies and their reproductive choices or situations. We need to respect boundaries and listen when people tell us about their own experiences. We need to stop treating pregnancy speculation as harmless fun when it can actually be quite harmful. And we need to hold ourselves and others accountable when we see this kind of problematic content being created and shared. So here's what I'm asking you to do. If you see videos or posts claiming Selena is pregnant, don't engage with them. Don't give them views or comments or shares. If you feel comfortable doing so, report them for spreading misinformation or for being harmful content. And maybe most importantly, if you see people in your own life making comments about women's bodies or speculating about pregnancy, speak up and explain why that's not okay. We all have the power to push back against these harmful narratives and create a culture that's more respectful and considerate. I want to know what you think about all of this. Do you agree that pregnancy speculation has gone too far? Do you think people should be more mindful about commenting on women's bodies? Have you or someone you know been affected by fertility issues, and if so, how do you feel about the way these topics are discussed publicly? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And listen, if you have something negative to say, that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but at least have the courage to say it with your real name and profile picture so we can see who's behind the criticism. This conversation is so important, and I'm glad we could have it today. Remember to treat people with respect, to listen when they share their truths, and to think about the impact your words and actions might have on others. If this video resonated with you, and you want to see more content where we keep it real and discuss what actually matters, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Thanks for being here and for engaging with this topic in a thoughtful way. I'll catch you in the next one.